Every so often, a single moment slices through the noise of an entire fight card and sears itself into mixed martial arts folklore. Atlanta witnessed such a flash when Paul Craig's upward kick veered from a forbidden angle and plunged Rodolfo Bellato into an unforgettable spiral. Within seconds, the octagon became a stage for chaos, confusion, and a reaction branded by fans as the greatest flop ever recorded inside Ultimate Fighting Championship walls. This episode is more than a quirky highlight from a humid June evening. It is a collision of rulebooks, split-second instincts, and the fine line that separates genuine injury from perceived theatrics. Tonight we retrace every beat and expose what truly happened under the bright lights of modern combat sports history. Paul Craig entered the Georgia capital, carrying the weight of a rough stretch, still chasing the momentum that once crowned him a Scottish submission wizard. Across from him stood Brazilian prospect Rodolfo Bellato, a hard-charging newcomer fresh off a string of regional knockouts and hungry to carve his name on the big stage. The matchmaking looked inspired. Veteran craft against youthful ferocity on a sticky southern night. Bellato had accepted the bout after 2 previous dates with Craig collapsed, each cancellation feeding the tension. Fight week chatter revolved around whether the Brazilian could withstand Craig's trademark guard pulls or if Craig would finally showcase sharper striking. Behind closed doors, Craig's team at TriStar spoke of marathon physiotherapy sessions, while Bellato streamed late-night pad work from American Top Team, each clip snowballing viewership on social media previews and fueling pre-fight hype that dwarfed to title bouts, sharing the broadcast with both men convinced the match was do or die. Anticipation crackled long before the first horn. When referee Kevin McDonald waved them together, the opening rhythm felt like a chess match played with Craig opened southpaw, pawing jabs and teasing the front kick that often hides a sneaky level change. Bellato circled clockwise, slamming low kicks that echoed across the lower bowl and drew a grin from the Scot. 2 minutes in, Craig caught one of those kicks and drove for a single leg, yet Bellato sprawled and peppered short elbows that painted a red stripe on his rival's temple. On the reset, Craig surprised everyone by winging a looping right that clipped Bellato's brow, prompting the Brazilian to crash forward and pin him to the fence. The clinch became a turbulent whirl of knees and shoulder bumps with neither man gaining clear command. Commentator Laura Sanko shouted that the air inside State Farm Arena felt electric enough to raise the roof, a line instantly clipped for highlight reels and adding another decibel to the rolling thunder of crowd energy. 30 seconds from the klaxon, Bellato slipped on a canvas logo, dropping to one knee. Sensing opportunity, Craig pulled guard, ankles coiled on Bellato's hips. That minor scramble set the scene for the bedlam about to ignite from the bottom. Positioned, Craig angled his back toward the fence, hunting wrist control for a triangle. Bellato leaned forward, left knee grounded, right hand pawing at Craig's shins while searching for space to rain hammer. In that heartbeat, Craig's instincts misfired. He fired an explosive upkick aimed at Bellato's head. Under Ultimate Fighting Championship rules, any kick to a downed opponent's skull is illegal. The heel skimmed Bellato's neck just below the ear, producing a sharp slap rather than the thud of a flush high kick. Bellato jerked back, eyes blazing as he pointed to the referee to flag the foul. Crowd noise spiked, a wave of shocked gasps riding alongside the commentary team's alarmed voices. Officials later clarified that even the slightest contact to a grounded foe mandates immediate stoppage, part of safety revisions adopted after a raft of concussions in 2024. Barked for time, arms slicing through the air while cage-side physicians prepared for a routine check. Nobody expected the next act before officials could even reach him. Bellato's frame swayed, then folded, limbs sprawling like a marionette. With its strings cut, moments earlier he had been upright and protesting. Now he lay motionless, mouthguard protruding, as silence strangled the arena. Replay on the big screens emphasized the glancing nature of the strike, heightening confusion. Spectators traded baffled looks, some demanding disqualification, others begging for the action to resume. Paramedics rolled a collapsible stretcher to the curtain, though it never left the tunnel, underscoring how event staff themselves seemed unsure whether they were watching trauma or theatrics unfold beneath the spotlights. Medical staff hurried, in checked pupils and spoke calmly to the prone athlete. Within 10 seconds, Bellato's arms began flailing, grasping at the referee as though restarting a grappling exchange that no longer existed. The bizarre tableau lasted less than a minute, yet it felt eternal until the ringside doctor advised an immediate stoppage. McDonald consulted both corners and announced the official result: no contest due to an accidental illegal strike in round 1. Bellato sat up glassy-eyed, while Craig paced, shaking his head at the anticlimax. The bell never rang again. In the post-fight scrum, Craig fought back tears while outlining the psychological gauntlet he had endured just to compete, admitting he had battled many demons to reach fight night. Yet every question from reporters circled the collapse rather than the contest. Analysts dissected the footage frame by frame, highlighting how Bellato appeared fully alert, gesturing, then fell unconscious from a blow that barely grazed him. Social platforms erupted with clips labeled "greatest flop in promotional history," racking up millions of plays within hours. Members paired the tumble with slapstick soundtracks, while seasoned veterans weighed in, some accusing Bellato of seeking an easy exit to avoid Craig's trademark submissions. Craig refused to brand the Brazilian opposer, but conceded that the optics looked floppish, a diplomatic term that became headline fodder. Fan polls swung heavily toward foul play, painting Craig as an unlucky victim. Hashtags like Bellato and Craig Kickgate trended across 3 continents, while a comedic TikTok remix reached 1 million views before dawn. Illustrating how quickly modern fandom crystallizes narrative into digital folklore, the narrative snowballed faster than either fighter could steer, and reputations bent beneath its weight. Facing worldwide skepticism, Bellato released a measured statement, insisting the upkick triggered a nerve shock that scrambled his senses and momentarily shut his vision. He reminded doubters that he had made weight twice inside 1 month and felt firmly in control of the round, leaving no motive to quit dishonestly. Bellato cited his rise through unforgiving Brazilian circuits, where feigning injury spells career disaster. Some medical professionals lent support, noting that light trauma to the carotid region can cause a flash blackout. Others remained unconvinced, pointing to the delay between protests and collapse as textbook embellishment. Promotional officials kept silent, listing only the "no contest." Yet matchmakers openly mulled a rematch, sensing controversy could double gate receipts. Promotional whisperers already hint that a co-main slot on a winter pay-per-view could transform this dispute into a money-spinning grudge match, proving once again that controversy often pays better than clarity. For Craig, unfinished business represents both salvation and risk. A win wipes the slate clean, whereas a loss cements the flop saga as a cruel twist of fate. Until contracts are signed, debate rages in gyms, podcasts, and comment threads. Every slowed frame wielded as evidence for one side or the other. Moments like this expose how the slender boundary between triumph and turmoil often turns on a single misjudged strike and the way it is perceived. Whether Bellato collapsed from genuine neurological chaos or produced the most theatrical dive the sport has seen, the aftermath has already reshaped both careers. Craig exits empty-handed, yet oddly redeemed in many eyes, while Bellato carries a scarlet letter he never anticipated. The rulebook delivered a no-contest verdict, but the court of public opinion will deliberate for years. The legend of the Atlanta upkick now joins the pantheon of unforgettable mixed martial arts oddities, a lasting cautionary tale about instincts, optics, and the unwritten code governing fighters.